They say forgiveness is a gift, but they never tell you how heavy it is to give. I used to think I understood forgiveness. I thought it was just saying, it's okay, when someone stepped on your foot or forgot your birthday. But I learned, real forgiveness? It cuts deeper. It demands something from your soul. This is the story of how I forgave someone who shattered me, and how that one act gave me back a piece of myself I thought I'd lost forever. It started years ago. I was 19, young, naive, full of dreams. My world was small, a quiet neighborhood, a part-time job, and a mother who meant everything to me. She was my home, my protector, my only family. We didn't have much, but we had each other. She raised me alone, gave up her own life to give me mine. And then, he came back. My father. The man who had walked out when I was just 2 years old. No calls, no support, not even a birthday card. For 17 years, he was just a name in our silence. My mother never spoke badly of him. She just said, he wasn't ready to be a father. One rainy afternoon, I got home from work, soaking wet, and found her sitting at the kitchen table, shaking. She said, "Your father called today. He's back in town, and he wants to see you." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the idea of him suddenly caring, after all these years, felt like a bad joke. "I don't want to see him," I said, but something in her eyes made me pause. "Maybe you should," she whispered. I didn't understand it. This man had left her too. How could she suggest I meet him? But I saw something in her eyes. Something more than sadness. Maybe it was peace. Or maybe she just wanted me, to heal from a wound I didn't know I was still bleeding from. So, I agreed. We met at a small cafe near the station. I arrived early, heart racing, palms sweating, and then he walked in. Older, tired, carrying a bouquet of wilted flowers. He smiled. "You look just like your mother." I didn't respond. He talked. I listened. He cried. I stared. He said things, like when I was young, I was scared, I made mistakes, I regret everything. But none of those words could undo the birthdays he missed, the school events, the nights we didn't eat because there was no one to help. I wanted to scream at him. I wanted to ask him why, but instead, I said nothing. He handed me a letter. Said he wrote it years ago but never sent it. I didn't open it. I just left. I didn't speak to him again for months. Until my mother got sick. It was sudden. Fast. Within weeks, the doctors said she didn't have long. I stayed by her side, every night, holding her hand, pretending I was strong. One night she looked at me and whispered, "Call your father." "I don't want him here," I said, almost angrily. But she smiled and said, "Do it for you." I called him. He came. And for the first time, we sat beside her, together. The night she passed away, he broke down. I watched this man, who once seemed so absent and cold, cry like a child. And something inside me cracked. After the funeral, we sat alone in silence. He looked at me and said, "I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope one day you'll find it in your heart." And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the pain. Maybe it was her voice echoing in my head. Or maybe I was just tired of carrying the weight. But I whispered, "I forgive you." Not because he earned it. Not because he fixed anything. But because I needed to let go. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of pain someone else put you in It's about choosing peace over bitterness. And in that moment, when I forgave him, I felt something shift. He started showing up after that. Slowly, quietly. He came to my graduation, helped me move into my first apartment. Never tried to be a father, just a presence. And while we'll never have the past we lost, we began to build something new. If you're watching this and holding pain, betrayal, or abandonment in your heart, I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I will say this: forgiveness isn't weakness. It's strength. It's not saying what you did was okay. It's saying, I won't let what you did define me anymore. The power of forgiveness doesn't change the past, but sometimes it gives you the future you never thought you'd have.